Welcome back, peeps. I'm going to do some work on the ZB client right now. I've been doing a little bit of planning for this. I'm going to crank it out. There's a couple of things I want to do. So I have a report that the memory usage is constantly increasing, which I have reproduced. This other one here is interesting too. An issue, it sounds exactly like the one described somewhere else. Okay. Well, let's have a look. This is interesting. Okay, I have an issue which sounds like this one. Let's have a look. Logs show that jobs are created activated, but Node.js batch worker does not receive the jobs in about 1% of the cases. All the cases detected have happened under high load when thousands of workflow instances are created. I increased verbose level max possible. 2,000 instances. First activity in the workflow did not receive 12 jobs. All the jobs skipped belong to a single batch. Exported record positions. Yeah, very close to each other. Okay. Broker does not send the batch to the client. Client ignores the received batch. Okay. Oh, he's using the batch worker. Okay. Epic. I see where jobs can be lost. The long polling gRPC connection timed out during actual transmitting jobs from server to client. Yeah, okay, yeah, I can see how that could happen. Yeah. When the client is closing. No, that only gets called. Okay. Let's reply to this. Say hi and thanks. Hi at JetDream. Thanks for reporting this. It is probably not closing. This should only happen when you call close on the client or the worker. Batch worker. Okay, the long polling gRPC connection timed out during actual transmitting jobs from server to client. The timeout of the gRPC long poll is not managed on the client side. I should double check that that's the case. No, not Minecraft. Quit. Don't reopen. Anyway, let it do its update in the background. Let's have a look here. So the batch worker is in lib source. Those are the tests. Lib. Okay, so the batch worker, batch job buffer. Oh, okay, no, it could be. Yeah, it could be a race condition. It could be a race condition in the batch time workout. Batch collection timeout. Or could it? Yeah, what happens if we start executing here? Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, the batch collection, timeout and execution. Let me look into it. Okay, I'm going to fix this thing first before I go and do this mutation to the whole thing that I'm planning to do. Let's take a look. This is a good way to refamiliarize myself with the code base because I haven't touched this for how long? Git history. File history. 4th of March. March to April to May, June, July, August, September. I haven't touched it for 6 months. Let's take a look. So how does this batch worker work? ZB batch worker. ZB worker base. There it is, ZB batch worker. Okay, so you construct it. Okay. Yeah, okay, misconfigured, sure. Yeah. Handle jobs. That's it. Okay, so handle jobs gets called when? Let's have a look at... the way I implemented this is I kind of just banged it out. I didn't do a great job of it, I don't think. But let's have a look. Don't try to refactor too much. Base worker. So, what does it do? Make complete handlers. Drain one. There's really a couple of things that the worker does. It's like, it's responsible. And I was talking with Falco, who's a consultant who works on ZB at Commanda. And he was saying, in the Java client, there are 2 threads. One's responsible for polling for jobs. The other one's responsible for actually executing the jobs. And I think I'm going to move to that model where I just have one class that's responsible for getting the jobs and pushing them into a queue, and then another process that's responsible for pulling them off. Because some of the problems that we're having with the node client at high velocities, high throughput, are related to managing the polling. The two things are collapsed together, polling and execution. But let's have a look. Close, figured about close. Constructor, long poll, on error, on ready. Returns a promise that the current worker has stopped accepting tasks. Okay, so that's like closing, work. Okay, connection ready, and then long poll loop. Let's have a look at that. Go to the definition. Yep, long poll loop. Okay. Okay, so we get a stream. We're getting some jobs back. Okay, and then when the when it has completed a response with work. Okay. On end, debug, clear timeout, remove all the listeners, delete this thing, long poll loop. This is a problem here. This is the problem. I'm opening too many streams. But that's a separate issue to this one. We do this here because activate jobs may not result in an open gRPC call if the work is already at capacity. Okay. If we're not closing, then set the timeout. Restart polling after the long poll timed out. So 100 milliseconds after it times out, we just loop again. Okay. If we're at capacity, emit that. If there's an error, emit that. And then repoll a second later. Okay. So, long poll loop. Job streams. Yep. Okay. Yep. Yeah, this was not a good design here. This is part of that other problem. So activate jobs. If it's stalled, then return that. If it's closing, Okay, from debug mode, say we're activating some jobs. If the number of active jobs that we currently have is greater than okay, yeah, that can happen because we can have multiple calls running at the same time, which is what we're going to fix. That's the refactor. Activate jobs request. Create the activate jobs request. Create a stream. Okay, on the data. This dot handle jobs. Protected, which means overridden. So handle jobs. So in the batch worker, handle jobs. Okay, so and then we batch them into here. That takes us to, oh, that's not very good. Find all references equals a new job buffer. Oh no, where does that come from? That's concrete. Oh. Okay, so we create one concrete thing. Okay, might have been better to make that type of. So if I wanted to make that concrete, then I could say, can I convert this to a class? Refactor, convert to class? No. Okay, I think it would be better to convert this to a class. Okay, so yeah, I don't want to make it the default. So in that case, I'll just make it a private class in this file. So make class job buffer. Ta-da! There we go. It's got the same name. Let's put an underscore in front of that for the time being. And this is the constructor. So constructor, and paste that there. It's the type, give it an implementation. Okay. Oof. What a mashup of, dude, such a mashup. Okay. So, it's a mashup because, you know, you saw I was like doing like class inheritance and stuff. And then I've got this purely functional kind of style in here. It is actually because, so execute, we'll make a method called execute in here. Do we want to do anything in here? Yeah, I'll have to assign them to something. But anyway, in the meantime, we don't need to do an arrow function like that. And make it a, no, okay. Anyway, let's assign these to this handler equals handler. This dot timeout equals timeout. It's because I kind of like vacillate between classes and functional programming. Batch size equals this batch size equals batch size. I quite like the way, I think it's in Kotlin where it's like, if you pass stuff into the constructor, it automatically gets assigned. That's kind of cool. This worker equals worker. Okay, and so then I should be able to just add these as fields, and it will automatically, yeah, beautiful. Declare properties. This is handy. Yeah, I think in Kotlin, you don't even need to assign them like this. It's just automatic, because like that's really boilerplate stuff. Public, protected, private. I mean, they can all be private. So fix all member access. Made them all public. I'll make them all private. Yeah, I think so. We can fix that later. Why don't you like that? Declared but it's never read. Yeah, that's cool. So in here, this.t, what is t? It's a silly variable name. This.worker. Yep, add this. Can I do fix all? Yes. Good. Okay. And then it needs this batch method. Batch. Yeah, okay, so execute is actually private. And then here I can make this public. How does this work? Like that. Ah, yeah, no, I don't need this. Like that. Make this public. What don't you like about it? Fixed declaration not allowed after, okay, after constructor. So switch them around, it's all good. What doesn't it like about it? Yeah, declared but never used. So fix all qualifiers. Yeah, looking good. Okay, so let's define this. Declare property T. May or may not be defined. Undefined. Any. Just to begin with. Oh, any, it doesn't need that. It's private. Okay, so execute is private. Yep, that's good. Batch. Add the qualifier to these. Okay, so, and then we can probably get rid of all of this now, safely. You know what I should have done? I should have run the tests. Nah. Run tests? What is this? Have I saved it? Check the git. Yeah, I have. Save it. Okay, I'm gonna, yeah, I'll just do the small refactor and then. So here I can say export const job buffer equals new job buffer. Like that. No, okay, no. In that case, I need to do export class job buffer, like that, and then where it gets called, find all references, in here, yes, yep, and then I need to now call it new job buffer. Perfect. Everything else is the same. It's a very small change to the internal code structure. So now I should run the tests. Yes, good idea. DC status, is that a thing? Docker compose status? Nope. Docker compose logs. Attaching to nothing, so it's not running. So Docker compose up. This will bring up a single ZB broker. Okay. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, man. ASCII art in your logs is the bomb. I've got to add that to the client. I don't actually, but I do think it is cool. So having done that, I should be able to do npm run test, and it will run integration. Yeah, it'll run the integration tests. No, it won't. Okay. What didn't you like? Really? I guess pnpmi. Install everything. I use pnpm rather than npm because it reduces the total number of node modules on my machine. But one thing I'm not clear about is with pnpm, if I delete a project, I also delete its node modules. But with pnpm, because they're all installed in the same place, how do you actually clean that up? I don't know. Maybe the internet knows. Let's check. pnpm clean up. Clean node modules. Let's see if this tells me something. The best way to predict the future is to create it. Was that Alan Kay who said that? Abraham Lincoln. Albert Einstein. Oh, this looks pretty cool. Clean node modules. Dun dun dun. kill that. Packages, glows, hard links, yeah. Okay, why do they, does it work? Does it work? Circular sim links, hard links, yeah. PM mobile hard drives, yeah. Store prune. Removes unreferences packages. Okay, let's try it out and see what it does. Cool. So it must have backwards and forwards links. That's pretty cool. So if I delete the target of the link, it'll just blow it away. Performant NPM. I did not know that. PNPM stands for Performant NPM. Very cool. See, I reused 932 packages. I only needed to download an extra 7 packages into the store. So I'm going to prune the store now and see what that does. Do a little bit of housekeeping while I'm going. Mise en place. Everything in its place. Here comes the 7 packages that it downloaded, getting installed. Dun dun dun. Oh, goodness. I'm impatient. I'm going to run this npm prune store at the same time, in parallel. My CPU's not pegged out, so that's not the cause. Dun dun dun. I'm not really going to run it in parallel. I'm going to wait for that one to finish, then I'm just going to immediately hit boom, do it. I should have created a new branch as well. Dun dun dun. Building. That's funny. I don't need to run that right now. Or do I? No, I don't. Okay, prune the store. Let's see what that does. While that's going on, do another couple of things. Eventually I'm going to publish this as a new version of the package. Package.json. 24.1. Removed all cached metadata files. Oh, look at that. I removed 1,478 files. Very cool. There's a new version. I'm in the past. Okay, got to update that. And here, while I'm doing that, I'm going to, what was I going to do? Run the tests. Yeah, let's do that. Run the integration tests. And I should see stuff happening. Let's close this Minecraft thing. Close. Dun dun dun. I'm listening to Monster Cat in my headphones, but I've got no music in the stream today. Okay, doing all the things at once. Good, I've updated my PNPM version. It's running some basic kind of tests. Now the integration test. So this is where it actually communicates with a broker running locally. And in the GitHub actions, it runs a sidecar container. Now, if all these tests pass, then I'm just going to create a new branch for this work. Okay. Yep, it's looking good. Looking good, looking good. Yeah. It's got a bunch of tests. At least this gives me, I haven't touched the code for 6 months, but because I have tests, as long as the tests pass green, I haven't broken anything that was ever broken before. If I've broken something, I've broken something new and innovative. It's a new innovative bug that I've introduced to the code base. So yeah, the main change that I made here was just made this batch job buffer into a class and then knew it up each time. So yeah, okay. So I think this batch here is it's a job batch, isn't it? No. Yes. What is it? Go to references. Let's find where I use it. Did I break it with my... Didn't I? Someone trying to call me. Oh, it's my wife. Might be important. 1 second. Yeah, she's gone shopping and she needs me to transfer some money for her. Can do. Can do. Okay. Enter your password. Right. Oh, the tests are still running. Yeah, they take a bit of time to run these tests, actually. They do things like test like timeouts and make sure that, you know, on ready events don't fire like 5 seconds after they already fired, that kind of stuff. But yeah, where is the usage of this thing? But it must be in here in the ZB batch worker, where I call batch. A new job buffer, handle jobs. Okay, batch jobs. Yeah, make. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Okay. It's it. Oh. Okay. It gives you a job plus the complete handlers. Yeah, that's a complex object. Because this returns that. Oh no, that's pretty straightforward. I can probably grab that. No. Keyboard maybe. Here. Okay. What's the problem? Oh, goodness. I gotta write this disgusting looking nested array. Okay. Where can I get this from? Add all the missing imports. I don't know, you find them somewhere. Where's this come from? In the batch worker, where did it come from? Should I be saving the code while the tests are running? Who knows? Okay, custom headers. So, drop that in there. Add the custom headers. There we go. Cool. You know, the user never touches that method. So does it need that kind of type signature? Yeah, it does, because it helps me from not breaking the code. Okay, I passed all my tests, so I can now create a new branch. Now, I'm going to name this branch after this thing that I'm trying to fix. Here. 177. Okay. So, call it fix 177. Okay. So I'm making the code a little bit, I'm making the code a little bit easier for me to understand and work with, but I'm also massaging it so that I can go like, how does this work again? What does this do? Okay, so the batch worker, it's batching these jobs, it's creating them. Job batch max timeout. Dun dun dun. It's got a job buffer. A new job buffer. Okay. Yeah, okay, so you pass in your custom handler for each of the jobs. No, for all of the jobs. Timeout in the worker. Handle the jobs. This is the batch worker. There's no, what I'm puzzling about here is there doesn't seem to be any code in here that manages the batching of the jobs. I mean, have I really put that in the base, or the worker base? Handle jobs, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I really rushed the implementation of this. Close. Constructor. make complete handlers, fail the job, error the job, stall the polar. Yeah, there's a mashup of stuff in here. Polling and doing the thing to the job. So on stream data, okay, here are the jobs. Oh, I see. I see what I've done. Whenever we call handle jobs in here, that gets calls this, which batches the job, and then the batch job buffer is responsible for executing it. I see. So a race condition could occur if execute gets called and then batch gets called. Yeah, okay. Yeah, if you call execute, execute will be called, but it's still actually batching jobs. So what to do? The simplest fix, I think, will be to put some kind of like a mutex, or I've got to prevent this reentrance. Yeah, okay, I guess one way to do it is tricky. Yeah, so what will be happening is that this timer triggers. Yeah, okay, I see the problem. This timer triggers. Set the timer. The timer is set. I see. So this .t actually equals a rename. So rename symbol. This is actually the timed execution. I guess it's called the batch execution timer. Timer handle. Okay. So it comes in here and it says if there's no batch execution timer handle, then create one. Create the timer. And then what I've done here is as soon as we start executing, we wipe it. Ooh. No, it still shouldn't matter, actually. Yeah, I remember when I wrote this code, I dealt with this problem. So, it's going back some time. 6 months. So we come in here, first execution, there's no batch execution timer handle, so we create one, set a timeout. Okay, no, it could happen. So we're executing here. We create the timeout, set the timeout. Okay, and then we're passing in a copy of the jobs at that point. So let's say we come in here. There are... Yeah, okay, I can see where it could happen. Maybe a couple... yeah, maybe here. No, is there any I/O? It could be, in depth. Anyway, here's how it happens. Theoretically, hypothetically. It comes in, it sets the batch execution timer handle. Then it like aggregates those jobs to the batch. These should be batched jobs. So rename this symbol to batched jobs. it's all private methods or properties, so it's not going to change anything outside. Just make it easier for me to understand the code. Okay. So we're in here. We add the jobs to the batch jobs. Yep. Creating a new array. Okay. If this .batch jobs length is greater than the batch size, then cancel the timer and then execute it. So this triggers it when the batch is full. Now, if the batch is not full, this timeout will execute. But if this timeout executes while the jobs are being added, which it could happen because this batch method is actually called on an interrupt. It depends on how those interrupts get scheduled. This interrupt batching of the job, if we go to references, hello, find all references, no usages, go to references. Okay, that's kind of weird. Pretty sure it's in here. Handle jobs, batch worker. See, this here gets called from the base in here, which is, so this is an interrupt doing these things, and then we call this handle jobs, which takes us into here. We map over the jobs. We batch the jobs. Oh, what doesn't it like about that? Okay. There you go. I guess the only place I can see that it could happen, I'm not 100% on this actually, is that this timeout fires and executes this stuff during the execution of this. Could that happen? It fires. This batch jobs a race condition. It's the only thing that I could see that it could be. That the timer would fire and then those jobs get added into the batch, but they get added into the batch while this thing here is executing. Do I need to pass in then? Do I have any tests for this? Let's have a look at the tests. Integration tests. Worker. Oh, it doesn't even have any tests. That's how fast I banged this thing out. I didn't actually expect anyone to use it. It was almost like a proof of concept. So it has no tests. Okay, so if I wanted to test this to create a scenario that would cause it, I'd create a new batch worker. Stream jobs into it. Let's reason about it a little bit more. So what would need to happen is, let me see if I can hypothetically generate the scenario first, is that it starts this execution. Yeah, it goes into here. It's a set timeout, so as soon as we go in, we just clear it, so it's going to create a new one. And then somehow what would need to happen is this is still defined, or maybe not. Anyway, somehow this happens after this, before this. The problem here is that I'm passing in a copy of the batch jobs, but I'm actually mutating these batch jobs. Maybe I need to implement a queue instead, because then I decouple the mutation. I can just push them into a queue. So, yeah, if they miss the first one, they'll get into the next one. That's probably better. So I remember seeing on npm.js some lightweight queue implementation. Queue. Yeah, a lot of the problems that I deal with this Node client are all about state management and timing because it's all reactive. Let's have a look at this. What about this? Asynchronous queue, function queue, function queue. You got to push functions into it. Okay, so, I mean, I could just push in a function. It's going to explode the memory usage. Pushing in a function that contains... Nah, you know, it just returns the job, but that's too much overhead. Fast in-memory queue worker, 4 months ago. It's a data queue that I need. Fast in-memory work queue. API compatible with async queue. Okay. Worker, push 42. Okay, you pass in this thing here. Push that in. And then it executes it. Now I need a data queue. Oh yeah, okay. Queue push. Let's have a look. Fast queue. Maybe I just write my own queue. Why not? Let's just do it from first principles. Blah, 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 blah. Can I put 2 classes in here? No, probably not. So, wow. It's not really a batch job buffer anymore then, is it? And then it's called a job buffer. It's really a job batcher. So, I should rename this symbol to job batcher. So instead of yeah, okay, so yeah, I'll create a new class. It's called a job batcher. So can I go rename here and call the file job batcher like that? Yeah, okay. ZB batch worker now freaks out. Job batcher. Okay, what's wrong with that? Alphabetized. Fix it. Okay. It's looking good. And then, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new class. More classes. Job queue. Job batch queue. Yeah. Okay, so job batch queue. Actually, it doesn't even need to be a job batch queue, it's just a queue. So I think I can rename it while I haven't saved it. Rename. Let's have a look. Queue. Sick. Yeah. Okay, it's a queue. That makes it more simple. And it's a class. Comp sci 101, implementing a queue. So it should have a push method and a pop method. And that's it. That's all it needs. I could use a stream. Nah. Push pop and then is empty, which returns a boolean. Okay, so push should take, okay, let's go generics then. T. So push takes element of type T, and pop returns T or undefined, like that. Cool. Okay, so private is it's like an array. I'm just re-implementing an array. Whatever. Q. There's the Q. Sick. So if no Q this dot Q dot push element. Yeah. Never. It's an array of T. Make it public. Ding. Okay. So if this dot Q dot length is greater than what? 0. Yep. Return. And I think you can mutate the. I think you can mutate it. Pop. The last element from an array. It's not what I want. Slice. What are the methods on an array? Every fill, find, join, pop. That's the last one. Reverse, no. Slice, splice, unshift. Maybe unshift is the method I want. Dun, dun, dun. This is the kind of thing that has you fail the elements to insert at the start of the array. Nah. If we're pushing it, it goes on the end. Yeah, it may never drain, but it probably would drain, but I should do it properly. This is the kind of thing that has you fail the Facebook screening questions. So remove first element in array. This is a real Stack Overflow JS. Real Stack Overflow question, this one. Okay, remove slice start end. Yeah, unshift, splice, yeah, flexible splice. Okay, splice 0, 1. No, hang on. Splice 0, 1. Most use shift. Remove the first element from the original array and return the first element. Shift is what we want. Yep. Okay, so shift is the one. Shift. So it mutates the array. Oh, don't you love it? So, can do it like this. If there is one, return it. And if there's not, return undefined. Ta-da! What happens if you call shift on an array with nothing in it? Node. Let's have a look. Const a equals empty array, and then go a dot shift. What happens? Undefined. A dot push 1. A has 1 in it, and then a shift brings back 1, and a has nothing in it. So a dot push 1, a dot push 2. A has 1 and 2 in it. A dot shift returns 1. A has 2 in it. Perfect. That's what I wanted. Very good. Very good. This is easy. This is return is empty. This dot q dot length is greater than what? 0. Okay, pretty simple. So in the job batcher, instead I would create a private method called the queue batch job. So instead of making it an array of batch jobs, I would say it will be a queue of type batch jobs. Like that. Yes, very good. Import it from my new class. Very cool. Batch jobs. So could call it job batch, job queue. Anyway, let's see how it shakes out. It's this dot batch jobs. So we no longer need to do that. This dot batch jobs dot so instead I would go like this: batch for each get rid of that, push them in. Oh yeah, okay, got to return the length, public length. Someone else watching me do this going like, what are you doing? Number. Re-implementing an array, that's ridiculous. Return this dot queue dot length. Right. So job batcher dot length. Yeah, okay. Like that. This dot execute. And then in here, we no longer do that. Instead, we make the mutation happen here with this dot batch jobs dot length, which is now a function. So here we should go this dot batch jobs dot pop batched. No, can't do that. Batch. So it needs to be an array, so I need to pop everything out of the queue until it's empty. So just do this. While this dot batch jobs, this is where the magic happens here. Change of concept. Length is greater than 0. That is not good because that's a potentially infinite condition. I mean, but it's going to be a 1% case where this happens, where it's just streaming jobs into this thing so fast that the queue never empties. Okay, so I should create another push pop is empty. Make another method called drain, and then what I do is I go goodness, I need to mutate the queue and return it. How do I do that? Const result equals this dot queue. This should be resistant. Boom. Return result. This should be resistant to re-entry. It's going to copy the array. Mutation sucks. So get rid of that. And here we just call this dot batched jobs dot drain. like that. Boom, drains it. Have I run into the same problem where we're going to be pushing and draining at the same time? So instead what I could do is this. Yeah, okay, no, instead of doing that, I should do this dot q dot splice 0 comma this dot q dot length. How many you want to do? 0 1 1 1. Splice, copy. Nope. Slice, copy, splice, change, remove, splice. Dun, dun. Splice. Okay. Start, 0 based, number of elements. 0, there's 1 in there. Yeah, that should work. And then I don't need that. In which case, Kotlin would actually tell me you could just straight up return it. There we go. Array mutation. Should make it safer. Yep. Done. Yeah. Let's just double check my assumption. Const A equals, and then we'll put 1 in there. Put 2 in there. Dun dun dun. Go back to my key, and so A dot splice. A dot splice 0 comma A dot length. Turn A, nothing in it, and I got the contents back. Good. Okay. That should do it. Okay. So let's just make sure this works if I step through it. We come in here. If that's not set, then we're going to create it. Now, if it is set, it means, okay, as soon as we come in here, we undefine it. Anyway, it's not reporting that that has any problem. So it's not that it doesn't execute. It seems somehow that jobs are getting batched during the execution, but now that should be handled because it uses an array and splice. And to write a test that can, sometimes when we have 2,000 instances running at the same time, 1% of them, reproduce for that's difficult. Especially with timers and streams, the timing issues. Okay, so array mutation is actually, I guess once you get down to this kind of level of like timing and reactive on the network, that kind of stuff, using actual array mutation is better than that array copy. I don't know if this fixes it or not. I couldn't tell you. What's wrong with this? Oh, right. Huh? New queue. Like that. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure that my tests still run, even though there's no test for it, but make sure I haven't broken anything else. Kind of lazy of me not to have any tests in here because I could have broken some other way that this functions. Like, I don't even know if this works anymore because there are no tests. Bad programming practice. Might have to write a test for it. How would I test it? I'd need to have a workflow, a worker that's going to service a task. Oof. But then imagine if I push out this version and it breaks it completely. That's not a good experience for a user. Oh yeah, I think I fixed it, and then I actually broke it even more. Now it doesn't even work at all. Yeah, that would suck. So I'm going to write the test in that case. The curse of having users, hey? Integration tests. So, new test in here. And it's called a worker, batch worker. .spec .ts. Beautiful. Maybe I'll copy one of these other ones, hey? Long pole. Yeah, I can't test this condition, but I should have a basic test that it still works. So, what happens in this one? Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, let's just create this. There we go. Before each, okay. Dun dun dun. ZBC not, okay, so these two. Don't know if I need 30 seconds, but we'll put it in there just in case. We can change it in a second. Okay, I don't need this. Dun dun dun. Okay. Yep, okay, so we're going to create this new thing. It's got this one task called console.log. So here, we're going to create a batch worker. Dun dun. Yeah. Expected one argument. Okay. So, this I think is task type. And then this is a task handler. But the difference is that the task handler should get in jobs. Not sorted alphabetically. Right. So take that out, put it here. Log level none's definitely going to complain about that. Go away. What doesn't it like? Okay. Move that up to here. Put a comma after it. Still doesn't like it. That's okay. We'll get there. Okay, what doesn't it like? Log level none. Missing the following properties. Job min batch size, job batch max time. So job batch max time, I don't know, 120 seconds. What's the value of it actually? Of, I think it takes a duration. Seconds, no. Seconds of 120. Yeah? Yeah, okay, it doesn't like the alphabetical. Job batch min size is what? At least 10 jobs? Why not? 120 seconds. So, yeah. I want it. Expect jobs.length. To be 10. Yeah. And then just do jobs for each. Job. Job dot success. And Oh, promise all map. Okay, so await promise.all jobs map jobs. Don't need that. Execute job success, return the promise. Get rid of that. Ting, done. Yeah, max size, min size. Yeah, okay, so now move those. HIJKL, so it goes there. Save that. What doesn't it like? Type seconds is not assignable to number. Seconds from. There we go. Okay, so very good. Minimum size of 10. Async. The jobs come in. Doesn't need that. Good. Expect there to be 10 of them. Await. Complete them all for it to be done. And then call done. So that looks good. Now I just need to start 10 of them. How do I start 10 of them? Async. Okay, so I can go await. Promise all. Oh, this is messy. Return that. Because it'll start doing backoffs. But that's the next thing I'm gonna fix. No overload matches this. Yeah, okay, but I'm gonna do new array. So I want to put 10 of these in here. Yep. Hang on. New array. 10. Array constructor. Length. And then Stack Overflow. Create new array with numbers. JS. I mean, I could do a for loop. Yeah, whatever. Let's do a for loop. For let I equals 0. I is less than 10. I plus plus. Oof. Ding. Can I do an await in here? Does that work? Guess so. Dun dun dun. Like that. Yeah, it's easier. Okay, so that should work. Makes 10 instances, and then I create a batch worker, and then it's going to wait for there to be 10 jobs. Okay, let's try it. So if I go jest, give it a unique name. Alphabetize them. Okay, we don't need that. Okay, so after each. Dun dun dun. Batch worker. Okay, just need this. Dun. Okay. And give it this unique name. So, test batch worker gets 10 jobs. I guess I should also test when it happened, whatever. Okay, so worker, batch worker. Batch worker. Anyway, a test is better than no test, at least. It's running. See what happens here on the broker. Oh. Ooh. Property queue of undefined. That's interesting. Q. Q of undefined, which means that pop got called in a context. Great that I tested it, eh? Imagine that. Embarrassing. So it gets called in execute. No, it gets called in drain. It gets called in here. Anyway, I think the easiest way to fix it is to go... which one is it? Push. So... can do it like this. There we go. Old school. Wow, I remember like 2015 when this was an issue. I'll do it for all of them. Dun dun dun. All of them. So I make them to arrow functions, like it's 2015. Dun dun dun. They're getting called in the wrong context, and they're losing the this reference. This used to be a real problem with JavaScript, but in a lot of cases it's been fixed. But when you go this deep into event handlers and stuff, you still have to deal with the same thing. So hopefully that should fix it. Run this. Dun dun dun. Expected 10, received 0. Wah. Oh yeah, this was another error that one passed. Okay, good. Okay. Why didn't it exit? Await close. Yeah. I don't know. Can I pass and done here? Done. Does that work? Let's see. Dun dun dun. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Goodness me. Okay. That one. Oh, my power line is not working properly. I kind of like this font, but it doesn't have the power line icons. Yeah, okay, it works. Yeah, that done doesn't work, whatever. Detect open handles. Okay, that worked. Gets 10 jobs. Okay, so the queue is now working. Cool. Actually, I didn't even need that. Yeah, because shift, if you recall from our earlier experiment, actually returns if I go const a equals an empty array, and then I go a.shift, returns undefined anyway. So it's just this. Okay, so I mean, really this is the only affordance on the whole thing. Anyway, that works for me. Now, let's just have a look at the code again. We go in here, and then what we do is we drain all of the... Cool. Yeah, that's good. Okay. This should fix it. I don't know. Because I can't actually test it, reproduce the error, I'm not sure if it does fix it or not. Oh, I changed these. Oh no. No. It's cool. So I think I'll make that the only thing that I fix in this patch. Yeah. Yep, the only thing I fix in this patch. Okay, so how will I describe this change? I did make batch worker batch interrupt save. Okay, close enough for rock and roll. Now it's going to run the tests. All right. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, I'm going to take a little break while it's running those tests. Push this to the GitHubs and then open it as a PR. And then I'm going to branch off this and do the next thing. All right, I will be back. If I can actually get away. I would stand up, but I'm wearing very short shorts at the moment. Here we go. Speed the site. I'll be back.